You're listening to the Jonesy and Amanda podcast.
This week and last week I know are fraught for many families, kids going back to school. I took my dog for a walk this morning and I had a nostalgia burst for when my children were younger. This year they're 23 and 25. How grown up is that? But I had such a flashback. I saw all these little kids in their new school uniforms, their new school bags, nervously heading off to school, and the parents with all these mixed emotions, some hugely relieved that the school holidays are over. It's a big deal, isn't it? And I bet the mornings are fraught. But at this time of day, maybe you've picked up the kids from school.
First day?
Maybe their first day. Maybe it's not their first day at school, but the first day of the year, first week back. You can look back on the trauma and laugh now, can't you? If you've had a dodgy, bad day, at least join with us and maybe laugh at it.
Do you remember your first day at school?
Kind of, I think. I remember my children's first days of school. The very first day, remember we were doing a breakfast radio show. I was working with you, and we did the show from home so I could take my eldest son Liam to school. And I thought I took him to the wrong room, and I thought I was late. I thought it's his first day and I've stuffed up. Like his first day at daycare, I was embarrassed because he didn't know how to sit on a chair. He was like Charlie Brown. His legs went straight. He didn't know how to sit. I'd put him up on a couch.
Right.
He didn't know how to use a chair. And I thought, how embarrassing. He can't even sit down. He's behind the 8 ball already.
You failed your induction here at the radio station because they had a whole thing on chair sitting and you couldn't sit on a chair.
Look, it happens, doesn't
You
it?
didn't get your keep cup.
But when I was doing breakfast radio, it was my husband, Harley, who would get the kids ready for school. And I always wondered how their hair would look, whether their clothes would have stains, whether there'd be Vegemite all over their foreheads.
They were okay.
And they've grown up.
There was a few mould patches in the bread.
How about, do you remember your first days?
Yeah, I do. Dad got sent to work over in England, so I had to go to school. My first day at school was in a school in London. And I remember walking into the class, and back then, Australians in England, it was pretty much the Barry Mackenzie era. So I've walked in
You
with
fitted right in.
I've gone, "G'day, I'm from Australia, mate." And the teacher said, "Well, Brendan can stand up in front of his class and tell everyone, what does everyone know about Australia?" And other kids, Rolf Harris, convicts.
I'm prouder of the convicts.
So I had that, and I got called a convict when I was at school at London. Then a couple of years later, I came back to Australia. Then I had to go to school here. So I had that first day again.
Did you have a Pommy accent by then?
I came back with an English accent and measles spots because I just recovered from measles. And I stood up in front of the class, and the teacher said, "Brendan's just come back from England, from school there. What do we know about England?" And they went, "Convicts and Rolf Harris." And I got called a POM.